Hey traders, happy Friday, gang. Good morning, and welcome to Charts and Coffee, where we have a half trading day today. It really is, frankly, kind of a throwaway trading day. Not that there may not be some setups that we can take advantage of. I mean, clearly, I will be on the lookout for them. I'm sure, as will many of you. We did do a Thanksgiving Charts and Coffee yesterday because, why not? Dinner's not served till 3, so why not take a look at the charts while we're waiting for football to start? I did actually watch a little bit of football yesterday, and I realized I'm not missing much this season. So I've actually not been watching football at all. F1 season is pretty much over, and I thought, let me watch a little football. Nope, not missing anything. But there were some decent games. I don't know how the last game ended with the Dolphins, but probably not well. So that's where we are this morning. Black Friday. Black Friday means we have sales all over the place. I mean, obviously, if there are indicators, if there are memberships that you've been wanting to try, please do take advantage of the Black Friday sale here at Simpler. I will also mention a couple of the services that I use. Koifin, if you've been wanting to check out Koifin, they've got a Black Friday sale. TradingView. I think I've extended and renewed TradingView clear out to when I'm 90. I take advantage of the sales that they have over at TradingView. Love those charts. They are my preferred way of setting up alerts for my triggers, which is the way that we operate in the Sector Secrets Mastery. So definitely take advantage of that. My theory is this: if there's something you want to try that you think could improve your trading, no better way than to try it. And then why not do it on sale? Because whatever you save on the sale could end up in your account. And that's what I always like to remind my traders. Okay. In the meantime, before we get to our Black Friday Go Broke Saving Money event, and I'm as guilty as anybody else. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm as guilty as anybody else. I have my list, and then who doesn't like a good sale? Speaking of sales, is the equity market, whether that be index, S&P, Dow, which are my preference, most definitely the Russell, are certain sectors that I've been watching closely, are they going to go on sale today? There's an old saying in trading and investing, Wall Street's the one place they throw a sale and nobody comes. Don't be one of those people. Sales on Wall Street mean uptrends or general strength in a pullback. And the fact that traders and investors, by and large, do not view pullbacks as opportunities is one of the basic reasons why, as it's often and sadly said, 90% of traders lose. They're picking bottoms, they're picking tops, they're buying highs, buying into new lows, all the kinds of things that don't necessarily scale to this thing that we all want, which is account growth, right? Having sufficient enough profit to grow an account. And, one of the things that we've been talking about a lot in the Sector Secrets Mastery lately is not just winning trades, right? But being realistic about the business of trading. We're serious, right? We take our job very seriously. We're trading our capital, hard-earned at that. And the idea that any win is a win is really something we have to start to not just demystify, but really be realistic about. We have to pay taxes, right? Unless you're in one of those places. I know my UK Forex trading buddies say, hey, cap gains are pretty much nothing. I have a couple of traders in Puerto Rico, cap gains, but the rest of us on earth have to deal with the reality of paying taxes, paying commissions, paying fees. And there's a cost to keeping the business of trading open. Even courses and classes and books, I buy some of that stuff. Software, I buy some of that stuff. That's all part of the cost of trading. Now, if you structure your trading life properly, correctly, smartly, you can use an entity. I trade through an entity, right? I don't do trader tax stuff. I trade through an entity. So some of those things are obviously a write-off. But before we even talk about write-offs, do we have a positive outcome at the end of the year to even have to worry about such a first-class problem? And that's where account growth comes in. So please remember, a win is not always a win. Back out fees, back out commissions, back out the cost of trading, right? You can do that in a general way. And then ask yourself, what did I really make for my efforts? And those are things I see constantly happening where traders think that any win is a win. In reality, I think that's a lot of effort and a lot of capital tied up just to break even. So these are things that as we're winding down 2024 and we want to leap into 2025 with the attitude of account growth, these are things we've got to think about, right? This is the conversation we all have to have. All right, moving on. If you caught me yesterday for Charts and Coffee, you know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the Russell. I'm looking at regional banks, the Dow, financials, S&P. I really don't like tech all that much. There are a handful of symbols in tech that look pretty darn good. Most of them are in consumer discretionary or telecommunications. So that's where some of my interest is. Metals and mining look great. Airlines look pretty darn good. So there are some unusual places right now that we're seeing strength. All right. So let's see. Bob asked, do I have thoughts on shorting C3AI? I really don't. I don't have any. Bob, here's a really easy answer. Anything having a meme moment, I'm not going to try to pick a top in. You know, like MSTR is having a meme moment. I don't say meme as in it's in a meme stock. It's meme behavior. Bitcoin was having meme behavior. Meme meaning it's FOMO. It's kind of a headline-driven frenzy, like piranha buying something without a true understanding of whether or not you want to be long, say 550 on MSTR, that kind of thing, right? So I'm not looking, Bob, I have frankly nothing to contribute that will be helpful. As far as a double top scenario, things like that, that's picking a top, and I just won't do it. So, well, I could extrapolate, right? I won't do it. Right? If something's moving higher in an uptrend and it's having a meme moment, yes, there's going to be that day where it hits a high. It could be, what I'll tell you is what I'm looking for are formations. Okay, you could find maybe a 1, 2, 3 on a 1 hour chart or a daily time frame. If you don't know what that is, please head on over to Countdown Trader, or even better, Google Countdown Trader Dow, DOW 1, 2, 3, and I have an explainer on how I've been using that particular pattern for 30 plus years. Another thing you could look at would be a minor high or a minor low. Probably not as good as a 1, 2, 3, but those would be things to look at. So anytime I'm looking at puts in the context of an overall uptrend, I just typically am not in those names. And I think it's really important for people like me to say, look, I don't have skin in the game. I don't intend on having skin in the game. So anything I say is a very superficial thing where I'm really not ever intending to be in that position. And that's where I think, talking your book and talking things that you might possibly go into is really important. But those would be the patterns that I would recommend keeping an eye on, Bob. All right, TGT, no, that's an easy no. Ivan, again, I would not recommend my Sector Secrets Mastery look at Target. I would not recommend my attention being diverted to Target. It depends on the time frame, though. So you mentioned leaps. All right, so if I'm looking at leaps, I'm now moving from a daily time frame analysis to, say, a weekly time frame analysis. And let me see here. It's on my other screen, so sorry, y'all can't see what I'm talking about. It's not bad. I just wouldn't do it. It's not bad, but I wouldn't. Ivan, here's an example of what we trade is more important than how we trade it. So again, gang, in the interest of always talking my book, because at some point, Rog, what are you in is far more telling and frankly important than what do you think? Yeah. So I'm in Walmart. We're long Walmart right now. I'm long, not long Target. I would not be long Mondelez at the price level that is trading at right now. By the way, I do have exposure to Mondelez, but it's about $10 lower than where we are right now. Actually, maybe even close to 12 or 13. So it's unfortunate to see a $7 pullback, let's say, but when you built a position from lower, the pullbacks along the way to higher highs are not a big problem. Altria looks interesting, right? But I would not in Walmart. And case in point, the long position that we have in the sector secrets mastery within the XLP, which of course, as you can see, Target is a part of, is that. Now, let me also mention, for those of you that are wondering, Rag, I'm looking at potential buys of things that have been battered in Q3, Q4, or even throughout 2024. I would say if you're looking for those 1, 2, 3 bottoms, if you're looking for those minor lows, if you're looking for those oversold bounces, do it in Q1. End of the year, last month of the year is not the time to look for strength in things that have been weak. That's been my experience. Are there exceptions? Sure. But as a general rule, that rotation would be something that I would see into Q1 when money managers they're done with 2024. They've sent out their year end, I call them the report card. And now they can rebuild a book, build positions that they basically have 12 months to show some sort of return on. And that blank page, that kind of ability to rebuild, really invites a lot more sector rotation, bottom picking in Q1, more so than Q4. All right. So next up so thanks for the question, though, Ivan. I would say no. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. All right. Cash Insomnia asks, does your Sector Secrets Mastery include my indicators? Cash Insomnia, the Sector Secrets Mastery includes the tops indicators. Yes. Which are the classic grab candles, 34 EMA wave, Sector Secrets slow stow, and a bunch of other things. So yes, there is the tops. Top tier is not included. So I have 2 sets of indicators, tops and top tier, and tops is available to Sector Secrets Mastery members. Yes. All right. Let's go take a look at, let's see here. Actually, let's do this. Since we're rounding out the week, let me show you all what we're in. There we go. So this was the Tuesday. I never did send out Wednesday because it was the same exact thing. But this is going to be eventually the Thursday, November 29 recap. So right now, not Thursday, Friday. As we go into today, I'm going to be looking for opportunities in regional banks, in IWM, Russell, in Zion, in a number of financials like Wells Fargo. The only of our current open 8 trades. Now, some of these have been open throughout the month. We've had other swing trades that we've opened and closed throughout the month of November, but these are the 8 that we still have open right now because the trends are continuing. And I'm always looking for up to 3 scale outs. I'm always looking for up to 3 targets. So we position size in the beginning, knowing that that's the plan, right? That if it's within budget and within the desired account risk, if we can get enough contracts to scale out 3 times, that's ideal. You'll see here that of the 8, 7 of the 8 have already been scaled out. Some have been scaled out twice, whether that be optional or the non-negotiable T2, which is T1 is first target. T2 is second target, for those of you that don't know what all those T's mean. And the last trade, which has been pretty good, I don't know where it's going to be, and I'd love to see a couple more targets get hit today. XLE is the last one. It's doing fine. It just hasn't hit that first target. So that if I were to see this get stopped out, it's not a trailing stop. It's not a break-even stop. It's a loss of my capital. So of those trades, that's the only one that's sort of in harm's way, as I like to say. But the rest of them, we've already scaled out. Notice what we share here. Every entry, every exit, every day. And what you know is what I bought and the price at which I bought them. And ultimately, the plan is what? To enter, again, enough contracts we can scale up up to 3 times. We want to be able to think about scaling in. Scaling in must always be a process where, here's a great example of what I mean by scaling in. Notice that this is an alert. It's a great example of an alert. This is an alert where at the time of the setup alert. These are not fill alerts, gang. I'm actually letting people know what I'm going to buy when price reaches a certain point. So it's actually an alert. It's a heads up. And there's 3 levels that are shared there. So this is something I sent out on Wednesday. All right. So notice everybody knows the 3 prices I'm going to enter at beforehand, right? We're not adding later because we've, bought something at one level. Whoops, it's not stopping. Let's dollar cost average and buy again. Whoops, it's not stopping. Let's dollar cost average again, right? That's not at all the plan. So I think what happens for a lot of traders, sadly, is that when they're looking at, I'm actually looking at some of we have a custom watch list right now. So there are a few other names that I want to make sure we discuss. And if you want to write these down, CVX, Disney, Halliburton. Wow, that's a new one to the list. Shop. Keep an eye on Shop too. And this is an example. And Zion. Zion's an uptrend. It's in an uptrending sector, regional banks, KRE, and it's in a strong right now index, Russell. This is alignment. But what we want to avoid are things like semiconductors and our favorite names. We don't want to be buying things that are moving lower in lower sectors, because that's what starts to create the let's add and add and add. Remember, if you've bought something at $3, $2, and $1, right? And the price bounces to 120, that's not a win, right? A lot of traders will start to think, well, at least I won on that. No, it's still a loss, right? And again, we have to normalize the real world math, not the made up math of, well, my lowest entry has made money, right? It happens commonly. So what we want to remember is all of the entries have to be known beforehand. You can choose which entries you want to take. You can plan ahead. And then you'll notice as we move higher, you also have the scale out. So you're not waiting ever on me, nor should anyone ever be waiting to think, well, where should I scale out? That should be well known. And if it's well known, make it part of your original trading plan. So this is likely going to be, if we can get a pullback in regional banks, this will likely be another setup for us. And I'll continue to set up something like Zion before, maybe a few times before it triggers. But here's what we have. All right. And I'll likely be open to re-entering many of these again. Right. So those are things that we have. And by the way, what is this reflecting? Financials, metals and mining, insurance. This is a straight up plan, financials, XLF. Amazon, one of the relative outperformers in consumer discretionary. Walmart, this is the trickiest position I have because consumer staples don't look great, but Walmart looks fantastic. And XLE is a tricky one because it's a very new or fresh uptrend. So 2 quirky symbols. Walmart's already scaled out, which is great. And XLE, which is a fresh uptrend, I'd like to see some follow through on. All right. Okay, so that's what we've got there. What else do we have here? Beverly asks, who handles my entities? Anderson Advisors. They create my entities. They handle my entities. And that's who I've been using for a couple of decades now. There are a lot of choices out there. I'm not saying you've got to go to Anderson. That's who I like. They handle everything. They handle my bookkeeping. They handle my entities. They handle, well, everything. So I don't have to be bothered with it. I'm awful at that kind of stuff. Things that are homework like that, my bookkeeper will come and, make sure that I've got all my things aligned. But other than that, they take care of everything. So that's what I wanted. I wanted a full service shop, and that's exactly what they are. Not to mention, I happen to know the owner. He's a good guy. He's an investor. He's one of us, right? He's written a book called Infinity Investing. So he knows, what it's like. He knows the trading and investing, especially world, and even real estate. He's an avid real estate investor. So I like having people who are, kind of in the trenches with me and take care of, well, what is very important to me, which is maximizing, keeping what I make. So that's who I use, Anderson Advisors. Okay, gang. That's going to be a wrap. So I will see you all on, I haven't done a Sunday show in a couple of days. I just thought I'd take a little bit of a break, but you know what? I'll probably do a Sunday show, Top Tier Outlook, 6 p.m. on Sunday. And if I don't see you on Sunday, I'll see you on Monday morning. All right. Be good to each other. Half trading day, kind of one of those days that just has to be open because we can't have a certain number of consecutive closed days on the exchange. Take it for what you will. Enjoy some Black Friday shopping. And again, happy belated Thanksgiving for anyone I didn't see yesterday. All right, gang, be good to each other. I'll talk with you soon.